Okay, I want to show you around the Visual Basic IDE or Integrated Development Environment. To do that, we'll create a new project. So I'll click File, New Project, and I'll resize that a little bit so we can see everything. We're doing Visual Basic since we're using Visual Basic, the Express Edition. I'm going to create a Windows Form application. Before we create it, we should give our application a good name. And so we'll just call this one Total Pay. And I'll click OK. And Visual Basic will create the basic template that we need to start a Windows application. So right away it's going to create a form for us. It also puts us into the form design window. This form design window is where we're going to do the graphical layout or the graphical design for our Windows program. So we're going to use the items from the toolbox here to basically paint or create our form design. So our graphical user interface will be designed on this form. Okay. So to get pay, I basically want to do two parts. I want to get the person's pay rate and how many hours they work. So we'll keep that simple. So first I'll go to my toolbox, and to get any kind of input, we'll go down and we'll find the text box. And there's two ways we can get the text box on the form. One, we can just drag it over and drop it where we want it, so that becomes text box 1. Or we can come over and actually double click on it, and that will also create a text box on the form. It just doesn't put it necessarily where we want it. Okay. Notice as I drag this, we do get some lines on here to kind of help guide us and make it really easy without writing any code to line things up. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my toolbox. We want to prompt the user. We'll do that with a label. So I'll drag a label over here, line that up, and drop it there. And we can also create new controls by doing a copy and then paste. Okay, so we can make duplicates of controls like I did for that label just now. Okay, I'm also going to need one more place to put my answer, and so I could pick a label. Label's probably the better of the choices, but for right now I'm just going to pick another text box. I'll put it there, so we'll get our answer there, and I'll put a label to describe what that is. So we need to change some text here. We'll change, notice I clicked on the label, and I'm going to change the text property to indicate what I want it to display. So in this case, it's going to indicate total pay, and as soon as I change that and either hit the enter key or navigate from this property, it's going to update that. I'm going to click on label 1, and notice I'm already on the text property for that. This is the properties window for each object that's on the form. So when I click on label 1, notice it's telling me these are the properties for label 1, and then the individual properties are listed here. So the text property, obviously, when I change that, will update what's displayed on the form. Okay, so we're going to put in pay rate, and for label 2, notice updated here, we'll put in hours. Okay, so how many hours did they work? We also want to update, the user doesn't necessarily see the name of the text box, but we do want to change for any controls that we're going to write programming code. We want to scroll up and find the name property and give it a good name instead of just text box 1. I'm going to use a txt prefix to indicate it's a text box type control, and then we'll give it a good name like pay rate. And we'll go to the hours, and we'll call that one txt hours, and we'll go to the third one, and of course we'll call that one txt total pay. Okay, and that's basically the layout we need for the display. We need one more thing, because if we want anything to happen, we need a button out there to put some code behind. So I'm going to go up and grab a button, and we'll drop that down here. Okay, and I'm going to call that one BTN for the button type control, and I'm going to call it calculate. And remember, the name I'm going to refer to in program code. The text property is what the user sees, so I also want to update that so the user doesn't just see button 1. Okay, they see calculate. Okay, so that's basically the layout of the form, the visual design of it, and the next thing we'll want to do is add code. We'll do that in the next video.